How do I manage raising teenagers as a single mom with bipolar? I pray a lot. No, for real. I pray a lot. I feel like I'm almost in a constant state of prayer. I make sure to tap in with spirit and my ancestors to get guidance and patience. When I wake up in the morning, I pray that I'm the best version of myself and that I'm a good leader and that I'm patient with my children. The second thing that I did, a counselor. I have a therapist. I don't have a partner. I don't have family, friends, none of that. So I needed an adult, preferably someone who did not have a vested interest in anything that I'm telling them outside of helping me. A professional, someone who has more information than I do that can help me look at things from a different point of view and give me more skills, help me find out more about myself, things of that nature. So having a therapist, counselor, psychologist, psychotherapist, I'm telling you, even a case manager, very, very helpful. I needed support. I can't just be around teenagers all the time. I need to have adults that are just there to be my support system. So I got a counselor. That was very helpful. I set very firm boundaries with my kids, and that's really helped. Having an open door policy, allowing a space for my kids to talk to me honestly and for me to talk to them honestly. I had to really observe my kids and get to know them and learn how to discipline them. I had to learn their sensitivities, their triggers, and I really had to be the one to change. I couldn't just keep yelling at them every day to change. What I did was I stepped back and I observed their behavior and their responses, and we had a couple really honest conversations where I did most of the listening, and I found out what was behind a lot of their behaviors. So I had to make a space for them to be honest with me. I had to make a space for me to listen to them. And then I had to use the information that they gave me to change my own behavior. So I had to be open to listening to them. I had to stop raising my voice, stop getting so irritated, and just be a little bit more flexible when it came to them. I can't be rigid. Dealing with children, especially teenagers, and being rigid doesn't really work. You can be strict without being rigid. So being more understanding, that really helped. I had to really open my ears and my heart to them and be more understanding and more empathetic, which was challenging to me because I thought that I had to be very strict with my children in order for them to listen to me. But really all that I needed to do was show them that I cared and then give them spaces to be themselves. The other thing that I did was make time for myself. I make a lot of time for myself. I can only be around my kids but for so long because I find when I spend too much time with them, they start to take my time for granted, and maybe that line between mom and friend gets crossed a little bit or too close, because I feel like when you give people access to you too much, they start to take it for granted. So I do limit my time with them so that they don't get tired of hearing my voice, because sometimes when you're around somebody for so long and you hear them for so long, when I try to go back and discipline them, they're kind of drowning me out because we spent so much time together. So absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I found that they appreciate me more and take the time to listen to more of what I have to say when I don't give them so much access to me all the time. And that comes along with setting boundaries. Like, you don't get to have access to me 24 hours a day. And that caused them to listen to me more when I said something. I repeat myself a lot less now that I make them know you only get one chance to learn a lesson sometimes. So if you ask me something or you're interested in something and you don't pay attention this time, then I might not give you another opportunity for me to answer the same question a million times. You should have listened the first time. We are not promised tomorrow, so they need to learn to value people's time, including their own. So I feel like with me doing this, they learn a lesson about priorities and prioritizing people and paying attention and showing people that they are valuable and valuing the time that they spend with people. So this has worked for my family. Something else I did was I started following moms on YouTube that had autistic children or children with learning disabilities, things of that nature, so that I could learn how to be more patient, because there are moms out here that do not yell at their kids, they don't lose their patience and none of that. So I needed to learn how to be more empathetic. So I did study a lot of kids because I have at least one neurodivergent kid. So I needed to learn how to see their behavior differently and be a calmer mom. And that took a lot of work. I'm still working on it, but the deep breathing helps. And the conversations that we have had, the trauma from their childhood that they have expressed to me, I've connected all of that, as well as they have connected all of that to their current behaviors, and they're working through it, and I understand that. And as long as we keep an open dialogue and we're teaching each other coping skills, we're helping each other on our journey of healing, they don't feel attacked when someone points out their behavior. We heal together as a family. It's not separate. So no one feels attacked or put on the spot. We know now how to broach subjects with each other so that we don't feel attacked, because that's been an issue in the past. It was hard to course correct their behavior without them taking it personally and feeling attacked. So we've had to have conversations about how to talk to each other honestly. Communication is key. That's been the biggest savior, is respecting each other's boundaries and considering each other's feelings and having good communication. I had to start listening to my kids. I was just being forceful. Keep the house clean, keep the house clean, keep the house clean. I wasn't hearing anything else. I wasn't connecting any of their other behaviors to issues that they may have. I just took it personally, which is something I think as parents we fall into, taking our kids' behavior personally. It's not, I think we forget that they have their own issues and they have their own minds, and you never really know how someone's mind works. And when I was pregnant with them, I used a lot of drugs. So I also have to remind myself, like, girl, if there is something wrong with them, it's your fault. So you need to be patient, but also being firm. Not necessarily like so strict, but definitely firm. I feel like I'm strict, but they don't feel like I'm strict. But in my head, I'm strict, because in my head, there's things that they are not doing. Now, I don't say it out loud to them that way, but no, you're not doing it. And I'm secretly strict. Even though I make sure that they feel free. They definitely are free to express themselves, but they know not what to do. They know not to be out in the street late at night. They know to be home before dark. They know what they're supposed to do. I don't have to tell. Something else I do is I treat myself. You know how like couples will go on date night? There's nothing that makes me feel better than when I take the time to make myself a really good meal. When I do my proper self-care, I'm a much better person and a much better parent. That has been one of the biggest things for me as far as supporting myself as a single mom, has been my self-care. And I don't like going out. I don't like being around people. I don't like being in social spaces. So I do my own, well, Fire does my hair. My daughter does my hair, but I have 4C hair, and I do still have to do upkeep. So it's a lot. It's a lot of work. But, and all praise to the Most High, I love my hair. Doing my hair, doing my nails. I do my nails every other day, because I'm always washing dishes and stuff like that. And so I have to push my cuticles back and just make sure everything is moisturized. And so I do my nails every other day. I do my toes like once a week, every other week. And just keeping the house clean, making myself good meals, doing my hair, doing my nails, washing my clothes. These things make me feel good and fresh and rich, and therefore in a better space to parent. I'm not triggered all the time. And that's another thing. I had to learn myself more. I had to do I spend a lot of time alone, honestly, because I get overstimulated being around people. And so to make sure that my kids are not getting on my nerve, which is very easy for them to get on my nerves because I have sensitivity issues, them being loud or the house not being perfectly spotless are huge triggers for me that I've already connected to trauma that's happened to me in my life. So I'm working through that. But that means that I isolate myself a lot. So to get that frustration out, I do a lot of physical movement. I like to do a lot of yoga, stretching, deep breathing exercises. I like to move around. I like to clean. I like to paint. I have to express myself creatively. I don't keep my frustrations in. And that has been also a huge part of me keeping my sanity being a single mom. We have a routine. I make my expectations very clear to my kids. I have open communication. I spend a lot of time with self-care and self-development so I feel fulfilled and I don't feel drained. And also making sure that everybody has a responsibility and that everybody is pulling their weight and everything is not on me. The kids cook 2 to 3 times a week. Everybody has a chore. I made sure that my expectations were clear because I wasn't doing that in the beginning. It took me like 2 or 3 years before I realized that I needed to be very, very specific and very clear with every single expectation that I had with them kids. From the expectations that I had with how they carry themselves in the street, to my expectations for them in relationships, to my expectations with how they should keep the house. I made it very, very clear, and we discuss it all the time. And we have a lot of family meetings. We meet up and we talk about issues, and I get to hear any fears or concerns that they have, things that they want, stuff like that. So everybody gets a chance to express themselves. Everybody feels heard, and nobody feels overwhelmed because they feel like they're pulling other people's weight or cleaning up behind other people or having to deal with other people's problems. So making sure that everybody has a chore, making sure that everybody is cleaning up behind themselves and I'm not being treated like a freaking maid, making sure that we're not crossing the boundaries when it comes to the friendship that I do have with my teenage kids. We do have a friendship, but they are not my friends, and there is a hierarchy in this family, and that gets respected. And if I ever feel like we're getting too close to that line, it gets addressed. But I've learned how to address them without triggering an argument. So those are the things that I do to keep my sanity as a single mom. I don't like how people attack single moms. There's a lot of toxic families and toxic relationships, and I'm pretty sure there are some moms that want to be single moms, but a lot of us did not put ourselves in this situation and don't want to be in this situation. And in my description, I took down widow, mother of 6, because first of all, my husband and I were divorced for a year before he died, so I'm technically not a widow. And second of all, I don't feel like I need to justify me having children without a male in the home, because it's just, there's a lot of women who have that situation, and I felt like I didn't have to explain myself, so I took it out. We shouldn't be passing judgment on each other. You're a single mom, you're a single mom. It is what it is. We all down here trying to do our best. Some of us aren't, whatever. But I'm certainly in no position to judge anyone. And I don't want to be judged either. It doesn't feel very good. But hopefully the things that I experience and share with you can help. I know that when I was down and I felt lost and I literally had no one but me in spirit, I would have liked for someone to have shared their story of hope and shared their experience with me. I'm sure at some point in my journey, someone reached out and helped pull me out of my darkness. And that's just what I want to give back, because I feel like I have been saved from the pits of hell, girl. I love you. Thank you so much for spending time here with me in Fury World. If you are interested in checking out my music, you can check it out on any music streaming platform worldwide under my artist name, The Fury of Abyss. I appreciate you spending time here with me this evening. I will catch you in the next episode. I love you. Peace.